Angel Reese spoke to the media.
Caitlin Clark is box office. She is a star. If Angel Reese was older, I would have gotten on her about what she just said. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be? But she is young. She's only 22.
Why is this even a surprise now that the Fever have signed Stephanie White as their new coach, and Angel Reese is having yet another outburst?
Transformation of the Fever into the best offensive team, the best passing team, and the number 6 seed for the playoffs tells the whole story.
Let's go back a little. Officially, Stephanie White, the former head coach of the Indiana Fever, has been named head coach once more.
I mean, that's the most we've ever lost in our life. I only lost 7 games in my last 2 years at LSU. So, it's been hard for me. But adjusting and just kind of have that mindset of, just moving on has been something I try to...
But you've known they were coming for you when you were waving your hands in your face to mock Caitlin Clark when you were beating her for the national championship.
Reese's fiery temperament and unpredictable behavior may have made her a less desirable option for White, while Clark's reputation has been built on undeniable talent, a strong work ethic, and an intense focus on the game. This could be one of the main reasons White chose the Fever and Caitlin Clark over a possible opportunity with Reese and the Sky.
Reese is a wonderful player, but she does not compare to what and who Caitlin Clark is when she's on the basketball floor. Plain and simple.
Caitlin Clark has gained recognition for her outstanding performance, despite avoiding a lot of the controversy surrounding Angel Reese's career. Conversely, Reese is well known for her charm and candor, but she has also been a part of public disputes, scandals, and what some people view as needless drama.
Most of it is just related to attitude. Cut out the whining, cut out all the energy you're giving the rest.
Now several WNBA stars, black and white, have criticized their commissioner for not properly condemning the Angel versus Caitlin racial hate they've seen on their social.
Perhaps Caitlin Clark would be a better fit for a coach like White, who is committed to creating a long-lasting, high-performing club. By selecting the Fever, Clark establishes a reputation for talent consistency and attention, allowing her game to speak for itself. White has made it apparent that she wants to form a squad based on such attributes rather than media spectacles and official distractions in the courtroom for Angel. Given the divergent methods and personalities involved, Reese must be extremely frustrated to watch White concentrate on putting together a super team in Indiana. She probably had aspirations of developing a similarly high caliber of talent in Chicago, but now she's seeing that vision come to fruition in Indiana.
WNBA's black superstars should thank their lucky stars for the record ratings Caitlin Clark is detonating, even if new fans are mostly white fans. It doesn't matter what color eyeball.
Her annoyance is reasonable given that she feels the Sky, with its own star power, deserves the spotlight while the Fever is the center of attention. With White's coaching experience and Clark's undeniable star power, the WNBA has been working hard to grow its fan base and increase viewership, and the growing rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark may be just what the league needs. The Fever are quickly rising to the top of the league's talk lists, and this rivalry not only adds intrigue, but also supports the league's efforts to gain more recognition by enthralling fans and increasing awareness of women's basketball. As a result, it is even more crucial for the Fever and White to foster a team environment that keeps Clark engaged.
The epitome of the intersection of social media, of pop culture, and fan engagement in a way that we've never seen, and she's moving the needle forward.
While Reese is aware that her own standing in the league is directly tied to this rivalry and that her presence and performance could define her legacy within the WNBA, the WNBA runs the risk of losing some of its best players to international leagues or other opportunities if they miss this opportunity. Angel, according to sources, Reese is aware that having her name associated with Caitlin Clark enhances her own brand, but it's obvious she doesn't want to take a back seat. If there's one quality that Reese is known for, it's her unwavering confidence.
Say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated. Game 1 of the Aces Liberty matchup on Sunday drew an average of 929,000 viewers. It was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever Sun contest. By the way, not only was viewership...
Reese has been boldly predicting that the Chicago Sky will destroy the Fever next season, and he has shared this forecast with teammates, friends, and even certain media outlets. Reese loves to compete and is always willing to take on anyone who stands in her way. But when Reese's words become deeds, White's coaching background and Clark's unwavering work ethic make the Fever a dangerous foe. Reese's remarks the rivalry has the potential to spark fierce competition, but they also put a lot of emphasis on her performance. Every game between the Sky and the Fever will now be a highly anticipated showdown, with fans anxiously awaiting to see if Reese's predictions will come true or if she ends up backtracking.
We just have to understand that when a transformational figure enters the fray, you got to pause and then isolate and compartmentalize and give them the love that they're due. And in this case, it belongs to Caitlin Clark.
Pushing both teams to their boundaries and establishing Reed and Clark as the key players guiding the WNBA's next phase. This rivalry is about pride, ambition, and demonstrating who genuinely has what it takes to be the best in the WNBA, not simply a regular season battle. Although Reese's audacious remarks may get attention, White and Clark are creating something that might surprise everyone in the upcoming season. Stephanie, White has joined the Indiana Fever again.
I want it to grow if it's certain people at the face. And there is still this undertone of jealousy that for some reason I cannot get around calling it anything else but that, because I don't know what else it could be. I thought it was going to get better this season, but it hasn't. There are still people who seemingly, to me, feel like they just don't want Caitlin to be a part.
Her choice to assemble a group around Angel and Caitlin Clark Reese's ferocious response is paving the way for one of the WNBA's most fierce rivalries ever. Fans are anxiously anticipating the matchup between these two squads, and White's goal of building a super team along with Reese's audacious forecasts are further fueling the flames. Will Reese's Chicago Sky genuinely crush Indiana next season with Clark's indisputable talent, fan appeal, and magnetic personality? Or will White's leadership propel the Fever to the pinnacle? The excitement around the Fever is unlike anything we've seen in years.
Tension. Her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark, because she wins the national title. First thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark, and then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that. Even Caitlin Clark getting knocked down in that game on Saturday, who's standing up applauding?
Fans are celebrating Stephanie White's return, and this rivalry is poised to be a defining force in the league, enthralling them and setting the stage for an exciting season ahead. However, Chicago Sky star Angel Reese, who is known for her fierce competition and direct opinions, reportedly has serious problems with the decision. According to insiders, Reese feels betrayed by White's decision to go back to Indiana. Reese had hoped White might think about joining the Sky instead.
Moved home games to bigger arenas when Indiana came to town to accommodate more fans. I'm not finished. Attendance for the entire league is up nearly 50% this year, and Indiana leads all teams with an average attendance of 17,035, up 319% from a year ago.
Thinking that her presence could be beneficial as the club ascends to WNBA supremacy, the animosity between Reese and White intensifies further because Reese believes that White's action has changed the league's power dynamics. Angel seems to be feeling envious and frustrated by White's emphasis on assembling an incredible team around Caitlin Clark. According to Reese's close friends, she has her own criticism of White's choice, calling it a grave error. White's action is seen by Reese, who is well known for her candidness and her ambitions to elevate the Chicago Sky, as a betrayal of her ideals.
Expected of Caitlin Clark. She's supposed to be great. She's not the Rookie of the Year. Angel Reese is, because that's a surprise, which to me is wrong. Should LeBron not have won the Rookie of the Year because he was supposed to win it?
That's considered the marketing savior for the sport. Yes, they were talking about chartered flight before she ever came along and opened her mouth. But shortly after Caitlin Clark opened her mouth, you had chartered flights. And you ain't have it in 2 decades. He's got that kind of influence, that kind of...
Given the significant investment White is making in Clark's potential, Reese Clark's rising notoriety in the WNBA is a difficult pill to take. One thing is evident when comparing Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese's contributions to their respective teams. The statistics clearly favor Clark's influence ever since she joined the Indiana Fever. Clark's presence has caused a considerable increase in WNBA viewership and popularity, and her effect is clear from the numbers, as she routinely leads in attendance counts. Clark has been a game changer for her club, as well as the league as a whole.
Don't y'all want a greater profile? Don't y'all want more notoriety? Don't y'all want more hype? I understand that it's going on still without her, now that she's out of the playoffs, because the games have been great. But the fact of the matter is, she swelled the interest in the sport.
Clark has attracted enormous crowds both at home and on the road, and the Fever's attendance has increased by almost 40% since her arrival, demonstrating how captivating she is to fans. However, the most telling statistic is that, on average, 1.8 million people watch her games, which is a startling figure when compared to the average WNBA viewership, indicating that fans are tuning in specifically to watch Clark play. These figures have not only raised Clark's profile individually, but have also contributed to the Fever becoming one of the league's most talked about teams.
How I wanted to be as a coach, how I wanted to communicate as a coach, what it takes to be successful. You certainly learn a lot about that. To be recruited by Lyndon and play for her in college and then to work with her as a colleague. I learned more in 4 years working with her than I have learned in my entire career.
We're going to the rim. We're not fighting the rim. Everything is attached.
Look, Angel Reese, there's nothing that she does where you go, did you see her? Other than she plays really, really hard, and I liken her game to Moses Malone. Moses Malone was relentless. So it's not that I don't appreciate who she is or how she plays. There is no one.
While Angel Reese has amassed a sizable fan base, her influence on ticket sales and viewership hasn't reached the same heights as Clark's, who has become one of the most valuable assets in women's basketball due to her ability to increase ratings, item sales, and general engagement. While Reese's involvement with the Chicago Sky undoubtedly adds excitement and energy, Clark has been more reliable at increasing attendance, social media engagement, and merchandise sales.
Angel Reese is an elite rebounder whose rebounding has not made Chicago a better team. Caitlin Clark is an elite basketball player who has made the Fever significantly better.
According to recent sources, Clark's jersey is currently the WNBA's best-selling garment, which is a noteworthy achievement in a league where jersey sales are essential. Additionally, Clark's revenue stream and sponsorship interest have grown by more than 150% since her debut, highlighting her marketability and her power over both fans and brands.
And Clark is box office. She is a star.
These figures demonstrate why Stephanie White's choice to rejoin the Fever and collaborate with Caitlin Clark may be more than just a coaching decision. Rather, it may be a calculated move for the franchise's future in a league that has been attempting to grow its following and raise its profile. The Fever has a special chance because of Clark's indisputable influence on ratings and ticket sales.
All I gotta say is she's lucky this UConn team isn't healthy. And that's a true statement.
That's wrong, Molly.
Monica?
That's wrong, Molly. Molly,
like
it's
five
excuses.
top players,
It's excuses,
am I right?
Molly. It's excuses.
Major injury.
You would not be saying that if it wasn't UConn.
Major stars not playing.
Listen, excuse
Gotta
me,
go.
it's her against Caitlin Clark.
Stephen A.
Ain't no excuses.
Stephen
You
A.
got there.
Wait a
No, don't
minute.
want to hear that now.
Stephen A.
Let me tell you,
If
if
Paige
Georgetown
Becker-
gets back in the mix, I'm going to be insufferable. I'm just telling you that now. What?
If Paige Beckerson basically missed 2 seasons, I don't know if we'd be talking about Caitlin Clark the way we are now.
While Reese's feisty personality and passionate ambitions undoubtedly make her a vital role in the WNBA, White's choice is a long-term one that positions the franchise to capitalize on the momentum Clark has finally generated. It's also evident that Clark is positioned to be the league's future face.
A lot of this noise came by people that were sitting on this network. They tried to minimize her, saying, well, you giving her all this credit. What about the women that came before her? What the women came before her, what they did cannot be taken away. That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. But there was a lot of people trying to make sure they keep Caitlin Clark in her place, because what you're doing, if you give her all this shine, you minimize what they done. We saw the ratings. We saw the merchandise sales. We saw the attendance. But y'all want to make it about something.
In addition to helping to establish Clark as the WNBA's biggest star for Reese-ing the Fever, White's emphasis on building around her may be the secret to the team winning a championship. Flourish under Clark's leadership. But it also feeds the flames as she pursues her own ambition of supremacy with the Chicago Sky A.